2022, as far as music is concerned, was really good. At least it definitely was for people like me who enjoyed this very specific corner of angsty rock and metal. I've always enjoyed making a list at the end of the year to assign specific numerical value to art for absolutely no one but myself. So this year I figured, why not do the same thing, but this time maybe it'll also be for a dozen or so people who stumble across this video. But before we get to the music, I just want to quickly address something about the title of this video. I know I specify rock and metal, mostly because it sounds good, but also because it covers pretty much everything I'd ever put in these lists. Despite looking like a Guitar Center employee who will yell at your 6-year-old niece for not knowing who Dave Mustaine is, I just didn't listen to a whole lot of metal this year. I saw my favorite band on the planet, My Chemical Romance, 3 times, so maybe that influenced a lot of my listening habits this past year. There are songs from metalcore bands for sure, but if you're here looking for anything that fits neatly under the heavy metal or death metal genre, you're gonna be disappointed. Just wanted to go over that before the elitists or purists comment about not having anything they listen to included. I've also given myself a rule that I can only do 1 song per artist, just so the list has a bit more variety that way. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's finally get into my 10 favorite songs of 2022.
All the stupid lies and the stupid games.
Metalcore band, and I pick The Ballad. If any of the real metalheads stuck it out to this point, I'm sure they're mostly gone now. Motionless in White definitely gets their fair share of negativity. I don't care. Are they clearly influenced by artists like Breaking Benjamin and Marilyn Manson? Sure, but have they also released better music than those influences over the past decade? Without a doubt. I love this song. It's more or less a letter written by the singer, Chris Motionless, to everyone, including himself, asking for forgiveness. Who can't relate to something like this? Especially over the past couple of years. Who hasn't had ample time to sit around at home to overthink and analyze every decision they've ever made that may have negatively affected someone in their life, including themselves? Typically, I'm into the heavier sound Motionless in White have landed on with Disguise and Scoring the End of the World, their 2 most recent albums, but there's just something about Masterpiece that scratches a certain itch. It's heartbreaking, but beautiful. Having a breakdown in a ballad is kind of an odd choice when you first hear it, but I think it's a great way of showing mixed emotions while going through pain. Sadness to anger, and then back to sadness. The biggest make or break thing with music for me is I have to believe what I'm hearing. If it doesn't sound genuine, I don't care how good the music is, I can't buy into it. And I believe every single word coming from Chris Motionless.
And put the tears back in your eyes whenever he can.
Who doesn't love a bit of Coheed?
Or do you want me to lie? 'Cause I can do it, baby, I can do it.
As far as their discography goes, and compared to a few songs on their newest album, this one is almost boring, at least when it comes to structure and the songwriting. Coheed and Cambria write really weird songs. They're really good, but they're so weird, from how they're structured to the super high concept of everything being attached to comics. The Liars Club is about as straightforward and formulaic of a song you'll ever hear from them, but is it ever effective? It feels silly to talk about because I could say this about nearly every one of their songs, but my god, that guitar tone. So full, so satisfying. The lead lines are simple, but fit perfectly. When putting together this list, I was going back and forth between this song and Window of the Waking Mind, the nearly 9-minute long epic closer to the album filled with so many sections and instruments. Horns, acoustic guitar, string sections, narration. It felt like a better example of what this band is capable of, which is being prog nerds. I think it's more impressive to have a song built as normally as the Liars Club stand out just as much, if not more, than a 9-minute prog monster with dialogue. Is it a perfect example of what this band is capable of? No. But it showcases that they're still better than just about anyone else, even when they go back to conventional songwriting.
Baby, are you okay to lie with me?
I like a lot of dark music, and one of my favorite notoriously dark bands is Beartooth. Beartooth is more or less a solo project for Caleb Shomo, at least in the studio. He writes and plays all the instruments himself, and recently has begun mixing and mastering everything as well. I don't want to accidentally miscrediting people who do something here and there in the writing and recording process, but in general, Caleb is in charge of everything. Beartooth has 4 albums, and they're all dark in their own way. And he's kept that darkness with his music even as the sound has evolved from album to album. Hardcore punk, metalcore, hard rock, heavy metal. Caleb has held the title of my favorite sad songwriter for several years now. As far as I'm concerned, he's the reigning champion and no one's coming for his belt. Hell, I've got a tattoo of the cover art from Below, his most recent and without a doubt darkest work to date. I adore this album. It had my top 4 played songs on Spotify in 2021. I was listening to basically nothing else. So why should you care about all that? Because after 8 or so years of what I just showed you, in July of 2022, Beartooth gave us this.
I'm down explaining my pain. This is way too much. I wanna feel you. Hurry up, give me the rest. 'Cause
Whatever you want to call it, positivity metal, pop punk and drop C, I want more of it. All things considered, I had a very good 2022, and it was nice being able to have an uplifting song in the mix. This song is Caleb telling everyone he's sick of writing about how hopeless he feels, how much pain he's in, and it's about time he starts singing songs that don't tear him up every single show. He said it's the first song he wrote after he quit drinking, and it's safe to say he's been in a much better place mentally over the past year or so. Also physically, because he moved from Ohio to California. Some people may not like the new positive direction Beartooth is heading in and are worried the songs will lose some edge. That may be true, but we all know they'll still be heavy. Riptide had what might be the most fun breakdown of the year. Also, I absolutely love that little woo thrown in there. Dude is just having a blast. Really looking forward to seeing what else is in store with this new era of Beartooth.
I wanna feel you. Hurry up, give me the rest. 'Cause it's the last time that
As a big fan of the show, the 4th season of Stranger Things was disappointing. What wasn't disappointing, though, was one of the biggest shows on the planet tricking kids into liking good music. Master of Puppets is cool now. The kids are listening to Kate Bush. So much so that you couldn't go through more than 3 videos on TikTok or Instagram without hearing Running Up That Hill. And that's exactly how I found Low Spirit.
if you're throwing me to the lions, you should
Josh Landry, aka Low Spirit, is a longtime producer who started posting covers on TikTok and Instagram. And this is what I came across one day.
What if My Chemical Romance wrote Running Up That Hill for the Black Parade?
Yes, I would like to hear, please.
And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road.
Holy shit, yeah, that's exactly what it would have sounded like. Unsurprisingly, that clip went extremely viral, and he made a full version. It slaps. It's so damn good. But it's not my favorite.
Highs and lows are all I know. I don't wanna be a fucked up father.
This song is 2 minutes and 44 seconds of goosebumps. A man bearing his soul for all to see, and you can hear the anxiety in every single syllable.
'Cause as far as I can tell, I can't save myself. I can't make friends with my emotions. All they do is leave me broken. So help.
It's one of the most powerful songs I've heard in a long time. I'm really not sure what else I can say that isn't just repeating buzzwords. Emotional, powerful, overwhelming. It's been a while since I've been this excited about an artist's future. I don't want to place too much pressure on him, but I am all in on Low Spirit. He deserves every bit of recognition he's gotten and then some. If we're lucky enough to get a whole album from him this year, I may not listen to anything else. With only a handful of songs, he's already one of my favorite voices in all of music.
Mind of mine, mind of mine.
Pop punk has had a mainstream revival the last couple years, mostly due to Travis Barker scooping up every new artist he can get his hands on and making really shitty music with them. Which is a shame, because now with Machine Gun Kelly as the face of pop punk, it's going to take at least another decade before the general public is ready to give the genre another chance in the mainstream. Why does MGK get the spotlight with 2 awful albums, when bands like We Were Sharks have been making great pop punk for years and can't catch a break? I'm getting off topic. I'm Canadian. I love pop punk. So when I heard that Avril Lavigne was going back to her pop punk roots, even with Travis Barker involved, I was excited. I should have known better. So no, we didn't get the early 2000s Avril album we wanted. But that's okay, we kinda still did. Just not from Avril. This song feels like it's existed for 20 years. Not because I think it sounds like they ripped off another song, I just can't believe this isn't a song I've known for decades. Big statement coming, but this may be the perfect pop chorus. I genuinely wouldn't change a damn thing about this song. Front to back, I could listen to it on repeat and never get tired of it. In fact, I have, just to see how long I could go without wanting to change the song. I must have listened to it 10 times in a row because I finished whatever it was I was cooking and still hadn't felt the need to listen to something else. Pale Waves has evolved past the point of needing a skip button. Just keep listening to this one. The amount of Avril in the newest Pale Waves album, Unwanted, is off the charts. And while some people maybe don't like music that's so clearly inspired by a single artist, I find it incredibly refreshing. That's probably the old Avril fan in me putting nostalgia goggles on, but I genuinely think it's a really good album. Avril may be right. Maybe love sucks. So if that's the case, I think I'd prefer to be Unwanted. There is one word that metal has been sorely missing for years. Well, okay, I guess there's a few. Diversity, hygiene, kindness. But the main one I was thinking of is fun.
I'm a spaceman, got a rocket on my back. Spaceman, oh, I'm raving like a maniac. Spaceman, got a rocket on my back.
Electric Callboy is a lot of things. Fantastic musicians, really good songwriters, some of the best live performers I had the pleasure of seeing last year. But even more than all that, they are so damn fun. Electric Callboy is one of the several groups to release a fantastic album in 2022, with the best singles being late 2021 releases. So while I can't put my favorite song from techno, We Got the Moves, on this list, Spaceman still deserves a spot as high as number 5. I didn't love this song the first time I heard it. Despite the synths, German rap verses, screaming about Elton John, it still wasn't quite as out there as their last few singles. And I know how ridiculous that sounds after listing off all those things, but Hypa Hypa, Pump It, We Got the Moves, they all set such a high standard for both music and music video that Spaceman just kind of fell flat at first. But after a couple days of the chorus being stuck in my head, I went back and listened to it a few times, and then it finally clicked for me. This song is arguably the biggest earworm on the album. We Got the Moves was my most listened to song of the year, but Spaceman was the song stuck in my head the most often. Every section of the song is so catchy. The main hook with just the bloops,
Got a racket on my back.
the rap verse,
Dreh die Boxen doch mal auf, gestern noch im Trocken.
pre-chorus, the chorus. By the way, both Kevin and Nico are two of the most underrated vocalists in the genre. They are incredible. And oh man, that breakdown.
Wo sind die Marsmenschen?
The second those sirens kick in, I just start pacing. There is absolutely no reason a band should be this good and this funny. They can write anything. Their poppy choruses are some of the best hooks out there, and their heavy sections go so damn hard. How can one band make better metal and pop music than nearly every artist out there who's only trying to be good at one? I hope Electric Callboy takes over the world. Let's get back to the sad stuff.
How did we let it all come to nothing? Feeling like I should have been feeling something.
I don't know if we can decidedly say we're in the golden age of post-hardcore and metalcore, but we are definitely being spoiled right now. Dayseeker released their 5th album, Dark Sun, last year, and while the sound is much softer than their previous albums, it's probably the heaviest one yet emotionally. Ask 5 different people what they think the most emotional song on the album is, and you can get 5 different answers, and none of them will be wrong. But my pick is Without Me.
How do you feel the same without me? How do you feel the same when I don't sleep?
While I'm very lucky and unable to relate to the lyrics, the fact that I can feel every bit of pain coming from this song is a testament to not just Rory Rodriguez's incredible voice, but his ability to transport you where he is emotionally. This song is nearly 2 minutes of build-up. He is so soft-spoken through the first half of the song, quietly in pain, not wanting to cause a scene. But then that second chorus hits and he just belts.
How do you feel the same without me?
How Do You Feel the Same Without Me has gone from self-doubt to accusatory. The sound of someone standing their ground against someone who's hurt them several times before. But even ignoring the meaning or message of the song, it just sounds so good. It's impossible to have this song as background noise. You inevitably start focusing on it, and whatever else you're doing is pushed to the side for 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Add Dayseeker to the very long list of bands that deserve a lot more recognition than they get.
How do you feel the same without me? How do you feel the same when I don't sleep? Even the scores and I let it all go fall apart. And every
Bad Omens is another band to release a great album in 2022, where my favorite song was released as a single in late 2021. Had it been released last year, The Death of Peace of Mind would have fought for the top spot on this list. Despite that, this album is so stacked, it was still a difficult choice to decide which of the remaining songs would make it on this list. I don't think there's a controversial pick because everyone seems to be in agreement that every single from this album rules, but I don't think I've seen anyone's end of year list with my choice. I've done my best to dive into the meaning of most of the songs on this list because as much as I want my music to sound good, like I said earlier, I need to believe what I'm hearing. And I believe what's being said in this one. I mean, it's simple enough. It's another breakup song. It's well written and everything, but this song is as high as it is because of one thing. That chorus. Just when the chorus has you moving and your heart rate up, it kicks into another gear. Bad Omens had an incredible year, and a lot of people are not writing them off exactly, but crediting their rise this year to TikTok, which is such a lazy criticism. And it is a criticism. It's like dismissing a hit 25 years ago because it was being played a lot on MTV. Like, oh, a song or artist got big on the thing that determines what is popular or not? Shocking. Like, I understand there's a bunch of garbage that blows up every year, but people need to stop acting like popular always means bad. Accessibility isn't a bad thing, especially when it involves a metalcore band blowing up. We should all be thrilled that a tour involving Bad Omens and Dayseeker sold out before it even began, and both bands have only gotten bigger since. I know I was praising Roy Rodriguez's voice when talking about Dayseeker, but Noah Sebastian is on a different level from everyone. Everyone. Look up any live recording from any of their shows last year. The guy sounds incredible every single time. Just an absurd level of talent. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I was able to see My Chemical Romance 3 times last year, which honestly still hasn't fully sunk in. They released a new song called The Foundations of Decay, and I thought it was really good. Probably doesn't crack my top 25 MCR songs, but that's okay. I don't think anyone was expecting another career-defining track. I mean, how many do they need? Either way, it's fine, because a different band released their Welcome to the Black Parade. I've been a huge fan of Palais Royale since their first album. It's been fascinating to watch these three brothers evolve over the past several years. Fever Dream, the title track of their newest album, is in a single word, as overused as it is, epic. This song is a great example of what the rest of the album holds. Very clear influence from each of the members. Remington, the lead singer, is very influenced by pop hooks and, of course, MCR. Sebastian, the guitar player, loves 90s Brit rock, which is extremely apparent in the solo of Fever Dream. And his influence can even be heard in Remington's singing at some points, which can feel less like an homage and more of just an Oasis cover. And then there's Emerson, who is tougher to nail down exactly. He's like a Renaissance man. He's always wearing a fancy hat. Either way, three weird brothers come together to make not only one of the best albums of the year, but one of my favorite bands, period. So what makes this song good enough to be number 2 on the list? Is it a cop-out to say everything? This song was hyped up for months, which feels like a disaster waiting to happen, but no, it's actually that good. The whole thing feels larger than life, like it's so ambitious. There's so much going on all the time. Every member of the band had to bring their A game when writing and performing the song, and obviously they did. I'd be shocked if Palais Royale ever writes something better than Fever Dream, and I'm saying that as a huge fan of the band. The song just sounds like an accomplishment. Palais Royale is a band that has a track record of not conforming to any specific genre and is always writing a wide range of music on every album, and Fever Dream especially fits that description. One of the best songs on the album is basically a country song. I'd like to think I'm done being shocked by Palais Royale. Every time they release something I go, really? This direction? And then they demolish my expectations. These guys can do anything. Before I get to my favorite song of the year, there are a few songs that didn't make the cut that I'd like to highlight.
Just a room full of strangers looking for some.
Not the most impressive or unique song in Bring Me's discography, but I listened to it a whole bunch and I'm not tired of it yet.
It's too late, I'll be fine when I'm done killing time.
Not a huge fan of the album from last year, but this song is great. saw Dragged Under play the song the day after the album was released. It's very good. Keep hating on Ghost, metal elitists. The more you shit talk about Scooby-Doo chase music ABBA, the more fun they become.
Now I'm in too deep, sinking underneath, buried by my toe.
Gotta include something else for the core kids. This was Fit for a King's best album yet.
Taking all your cheap shots, taking till my body drops. You say what you wanna say. Hit me with these switchblades.
Standard Atlantic's evolution from standard pop punk to pop punk trap beat butt rock really shouldn't work. And yet, I couldn't go through the whole list without including at least one Canadian band. And with that, here is the best song of the year. 2022 was the year of Nightlife.
Hit my head, it's like I'm severed from a love I'll never get. Instead, I'm tethered to a world I can't forget.
I was the butt rock kid in middle school. I was the angsty emo teen in high school. I was the metalcore nerd in college. Now, in my mid-20s, I'm the soul punk adult.
You want time, and then show up when I'm running just to pull me back to you. Ever so slowly back to you. And
If Nightlife isn't selling out a headline tour in the next couple of years, society has failed. I've rewritten this section several times because I genuinely can't put into words how good this band is. Okay, this is how good they are. Had they not released Fallback, they still would have had my favorite song of the year with Fool Me Once. I don't even want to show you a clip of that song because you just have to experience the build-up and payoff yourself. You're welcome.
if I never look away, then I'm never gonna figure it out. You got 100 different ways just to tell me that I'm never enough.
Nightlife is an incredible mix of R&B, soul, post-hardcore, and just like a dash of prog metal. If I were trying to nail down their sound, I'd name about a dozen different artists, but if I were to really dumb it down and only pick two, I'd say they're like The Weeknd meets Periphery. It's impossible to nail their sound with only two, but that's about as close as I'm gonna get. I haven't said a single word about Fallback yet. This song is incredible. Every part of it makes me drool. The guitar riffs, the groove of the rhythm section. I especially love how front and center the bass is in the mix, and dude, Hansel's vocals are out of this world. I honestly don't know how to break it down. Take any 5-second section from this song and there's something cool that stands out. My jaw hit the floor the first time I heard this song, and if anything, I'm even more impressed after hearing it like a couple thousand times by now. I hope Hansel, Julian, and Isaiah know how special the music they're making is. Like I said before, I'm struggling to find the words to describe them, so it doesn't feel like I'm doing them justice right now. I guess the best thing to do is tell you to go listen to both of their EPs, and then you'll fall in love with their work as well. Thanks for watching. See you if I ever make another video. Bye.